European Smashers, and welcome to the third place playoff for the European Smash Crew Invitational. We got Germany and the Netherlands both coming up, both got upset in the semifinals, so this is bound to be an interesting match.
Yeah, it's going to be a very hype one, I would presume. Both teams have been very going back and forth when it comes to results, so it should be a very close match, and we are going to commentate those for you. My name is Dagobert. I'm here joined with the only Gijsbeer, and we're going to commentate the Netherlands versus Germany, and the Netherlands just got beaten by France. Very close set. And of course, UK being victorious over the German team, sending them into the third place playoff. And I'm really curious to see how this match is going to play out. Both teams have some very, very strong players. And it's going to be super explosive. I'm fairly certain of it.
Yes, this is also one of the crew battles where the players involved do actually have some match history versus each other. You know,
Yeah.
there's Netherlands, Germany kind of close by. Oh, I think we're already starting. Let's get it.
Kicking off with someone I wanted to see in this crew battle. It is Purple Debo. And Purple Debo being very notorious for having a perfect track record against German players. Of course, if he's going to get sent in first, it's going to be broken at one point. But he's going to play against the German Crown Rinor. And let's see how this is going to play. I think this was the first time we've seen Rinor in the crew battle so far. So maybe he's got something up his sleeve in order to send him out now.
I also think this is one of the Germans that actually hasn't really played versus Debo before. We all know Purple Debo from upsetting some German players, but obviously it's supposed to be light. So Rinor is probably a fresh opponent for Purple Debo. Let's see if he can take down this German as well. Rinor is not the first player you think of when you think good players in Germany, but he is definitely a guy who will surprise you. I mean, just look at that. He SD'd, but he instantly got a revenge stock at only 70%.
Oh, and I think that's
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He already got one of his famous forward air strings to get an early stock off stage.
Yeah, that's Pac-Man Online with those forward airs, especially with the recovery as interceptable as Crom. You know, you really need that double jump to get back to the stage. And if it gets robbed on the way with that forward air train, it's going to be a lot harder to recover. But also that Hydrant is able to push Crom away if it's positioned right and if the Hydrant water comes out at the right timing. For so far, he hasn't really been interrupted by the Hydrant, but he seems to be just completely beaten out by Purple Debo in most of the neutral interaction.
That's exactly what's going on right now. And there comes the Hydrant. Purple Debo is finding himself off stage. Can he get past Crom's famous ledge trapping? Of course, it's a little hard to pull off on Wi-Fi, but it seems like Rinor got at least 1 or 2 resets at the ledge, missing a soaring slash, getting a full blinky from center stage. It is looking like Purple Debo is going to close this out with 2 stocks remaining. Great start for the Netherlands right there. Blinky coming through. Purple Debo staying in with 2 stocks at the 765 mark, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Whatever that's supposed to mean, yeah. But I think the interaction itself is really weird because Rinor did a forward smash and Purple Debo just whiff punished that, but it just hit the arm. So it could have clanked, but Purple Debo just being a little bit slower on that forward smash just takes the upper hand. And yeah, the dash attack infamous for having literally no ending lag. So punishing that can be very hard, and Debo just capitalizes off that.
Right. So that means that Germany is gonna have to figure out who they are going to send in next. Do you have any favorites who you would like to see? You know?
The thing is, like, I don't have like any particular favorites. I want to see some players who I haven't seen before. That's like my thing I want to see. And as far as I remember, we haven't seen Scythe, we haven't seen Longo, as far as I remember, and we have seen Lucky, but we haven't seen the Pit. We only saw the Ganondorf, so
that's definitely one I do not want to see again.
No, like I want to see some fresh blood in the crew battle.
Right. I think Lucky will be a great pick. You know, he's a very balanced player. So maybe he will have a better time versus a weird old character like Pac-Man. I don't think he's been upset by Purple Debo before. And Pit does have the speed and, a reflector. Not the best reflector, but a reflector to deal with the barrage of projectiles coming from Pac-Man. I would not send in Light for obvious reasons, even if he's a great player who's probably going to beat Debo the next time he faces him. There's a kind of history there, and you don't need any extra pressure during a crew battle. Quick is probably the anchor man, a guy you want to save for when you really need to let out some punches.
Yeah.
That leaves a couple of matchups I actually would not recommend versus Pac-Man like Ike or Diddy Kong or Bowser. So I think Lucky is the play here if I were the captain and if I were to make the decision.
Yeah, the thing is, you say you want to see Quick in the anchor, but we actually have seen Dark Thunder in the anchor most of the time.
I mean,
Quick...
Bowser as an anchor is never a bad choice.
It's not a bad choice. Usually we've seen Quick come out in the middle of the crew battle, usually after Light, who most of the time kicks off the crew battle for the German team. So a little bit of a switch up there with the winner. I would like to see Light because Palutena Pac-Man does seem like a matchup that will be decently favorable for Palutena with the great reflector, with those great pressure tools of her, not allowing Pac-Man to have any time to set up his traps or his projectiles. So maybe that might be a good pick. But yeah, I also agree with the Lucky. But since we haven't seen it, I don't think it's likely. I think we'll just have to wait and see. But my money is on Light.
Really, the Light versus the Purple Debo.
I know how. Secretly, I want to see it again. I want to see it happen again. But in terms of like matchups and in terms of like player to player, I think Light could be a good pick just because he can apply so much pressure to Pac-Man.
Yeah, he could. He does have the matchup for it. But then again, so does Lucky, in my opinion. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Now, I hope they do save a spot for Stormanda. I won't send him in right now, but I would like to see Stormanda play during the screw battle. I'm a big Bowser Jr. fan, so that's always a good time. Takeo is a very fun player to watch. Germany's team is just full of not just great, but also fun players to watch.
Yeah, I'm certainly very hyped to see those players play.
And whenever they pick a big combo food character, of course I want to see the Netherlands counter pick with an actual egg, because I like my Luigi clips.
It's like there's been when the French Dutch crew battles were going on, people were just spamming egg in the chat. They wanted to see him so badly. And then he got out and got into the battlefield, and he actually beat Gluttony there. He got 2 stocks off of him. So the egg is a bit of a reputation right now. A lot of people in chat with send out the egg. So maybe we're gonna see him later. Oh, but there's a matchup you didn't see coming.
No, not at all.
KO versus Purple Debo.
Right. These players, both of them, are total Wi-Fi warriors. And I actually would not be surprised if they have faced off a couple of times on the old Net Battle series. But that's been a while. It's been a while. So
yeah.
It's gonna be interesting, but like you said, Ike is not the character I expect to see when you're counter-picking Pac-Man.
No, we're going to Pokemon Stadium 2, which is a pretty good stage for both. I would give the slight advantage to Ike, especially since those Nair confirms can just go across the entire stage with those platform positions. They can go anywhere. But it seems like Purple Debo is doing a great job of just don't letting Takeo get anywhere near him.
Oh yeah, he is getting hit by the Hydrant, the Galaxy, and all of them. So we haven't even seen a single hit connect on Purple Debo. We got some medium combos from the Pac-Man himself. There's a trade. The very first hit that Takeo actually got was a trade. It is not looking too good for him right now here in the second game of the crew battle. Oh, there's the orange. He flies high over the orange. That was a good choice. Unfortunately, he cannot capitalize on these hits he's getting. Man, when you finally do get past Pac-Man, you definitely want to make the most of every hit you get, and it's not happening for Takeo right now.
Especially with Ike, a character which can make that happen. Being in disadvantage against Ike is a very scary thing to do. Ooh, that's a trap for the jump right there. Catch Takeo, and another apple is gonna send Takeo back into the upper blast zone. He gets to try again with 0%. With Purple Debo taking his 4th stock for the Dutch team in this crew battle. And he's
And
only lost one so far.
Right, and I think he tends to keep going. Takeo is finally getting him some hits. He got a couple of nice combos, bringing Purple Debo all the way up to 62%. But we have reset to neutral, and Takeo has had such a tough time in neutral. Fortunately, for him, he got a couple of good hits right there. He is making more out of these juggle situations than he did at the start, and it's exactly what we need to see from him. But there's the Blinky on the neutral tech. Can he get the platform? No, he cannot. Now, I think Purple Debo, the very next time he sees a quick draw, he needs to start covering one of the platforms, because that's where he has been landing and now using to get a stock.
Yeah, Takeo is still at 111%. He needs to watch out because at these percentages, Purple Debo is very likely to pull out a bell. And that Blinky forward smash is such a devastating move. It not only is very strong, but it also lasts for quite a while. And it could get some weird option there. Purple Debo now has the bell in hand, but Takeo is just looking for a conversion, it seems, playing it very safe for now.
Right, I love how he's keeping his distance. As soon as that bell is charged up, one of the most deceptive and most destructive projectiles in the entire game. Whenever he has that bell, you better get out of the way and just wait for it and make sure you don't get hit. You can resume playing the game when you know the bell is gone. Trying to get over the hydrant. It's just basically blocking all ground approaches and giving Pac-Man free time to charge up his fruit. Takeo is really struggling here. But if he can keep the stock, that would be a pretty good result, you know. He is in kill percent.
Yeah.
Purple Debo only at 61, but we know I can take stocks very early. Only 2 hits, bringing them up to 84. And there is the forward tilt, and it doesn't kill.
He's gonna survive that, but there is the... Oh, the eruption is not gonna last any longer. I think he thought he was gonna recover sooner. And now is a very crucial moment for both Takeo and Purple Debo, but the up air is gonna intercept the Debo, dropping from the platform there with the bell. And Takeo takes a very good position here for the German.
Oh yeah, he had a rough start, but he brought it all the way back. Great resilience from Takeo right there. And I love the balls on this man when he took that final KO. It might look like just another up air, but he actually short up aired in the exact place where the bell was coming down right on top of him. If there had been a slight mistiming on his part, he would have lost the stock, no doubt, but instead he braved through it, reading that Purple Debo would instantly go after the bell to go and catch it. Wonderful play there to close it out, and Germany still on the back foot by a little, but could have been a lot worse. So great showing right there by Takeo.
Yeah, very impressive position there for him, especially since he got 2 stocks left, one with a 140%. That's going off the counter right now, so he only lost 1 stock in that interaction. And as we said, we weren't expecting this matchup to happen, especially since we both assumed that Pac-Man would do very good in this matchup. But Takeo was showing us the opposite, taking only losing 1 stock and taking 2 of Purple Debo, and now the Dutch team has to figure out an answer to this Ike, and I'm really curious to see who it's going to be. They might get someone even more zony in, or someone with just great out of shield options, or yeah, it seems like Takeo has a lot of trouble getting in, but once he gets in, then he can just demolish you and play whatever game he wants. So the Dutch team needs to carefully pick someone for that situation.
Yeah, I think Paint might be a good choice. We haven't seen too much of Paint throughout this event, but I think this might be a nice time to pull him out, you know, just not interacting with Ike at all, throwing all this stuff at him. All these other characters, I think, like, you know, they do fine versus Ike. I wouldn't say any of them do particularly bad, but when I look at this crew, there isn't really one player or one matchup that really jumps out as this is a Takeo counterpick, you know?
Yeah, I think there's one guy, but maybe that's a bit of a position pick, and it's Tree Hugger for me.
Oh, right, Trigger.
It would seem like
another Wi-Fi match.
Yeah, but it seems like if there's one player who can deal with these approaching Ike aerials, it's gonna be Tree Hugger, especially
Right.
with his often very aggressive offstage game, able to intercept those recoveries. Maybe Takeo is gonna be struggling with those, but then again, Quick Draw is a good tool to mix up with. So my money is on Tree Hugger. I would also like to see Paint, as you said. Could be a very interesting match, but I don't see someone like an actual Egg or loading taking
No.
on this matchup.
No, you wanna keep all Luigi's as far away from swords as possible, and Ike has one of the biggest, so that's definitely not an optimal choice. Of course, they could just go for the general top player pick. I mean, we got a couple. We got Super Semi, Anti Reflex, Azrael, BJ, loading, like you said, all just fantastic players in general. And that's already 5 right there. And you got to remember, we only have 5 shots and 10 great players to choose from. So maybe with the lack of a clear counter pick, they might just go for a top player. And it seems like that's what they do. It is BJ and his Snake, who was definitely on the upswing before COVID-19 hit. Let's see if he has, kept his practice up and is still as impressive as he was the last time I saw him.
This is actually the first appearance of BJ in this Invitational. Has not shown his face around that on other crew battles. But the thing is, BJ was also one of the players who beat Light at one of the Dutch events. So he should also have a good shot. I think BJ is a very good player for this, especially with how he just places his grenades and how he can enter close quarter combat when he wants to and just succeed on that front. One of the only Snakes who really abuses crouch, and maybe just getting some timings there with the Ike neutral air could be very huge. But it seems like most of the time BJ is just staying very patient, very projectile heavy.
Right, and of course, low profiling is not as effective versus opponents with huge hitboxes. But look at these grenades. Every single conversion Takeo gets is met with at least a trade. I think that's kind of a big deal, but not enough of a big deal to knock Takeo off his game. He has a lead of about 40%, looking pretty strong, but now he has to contend with Nikita. Early quick draw once again to land on the top platform. I'm telling you right now, that is the place to start covering, especially if BJ has been watching the stream while Purple Debo was playing.
Yeah. The thing is, like, the Nikita is a very good option, but it's also kind of slow and it gets stuffed out by hitboxes. And the quick draw is very fast. So if BJ wants to correctly counter that recovery, he also needs to cover the angle above him, which could be perfectly covered with an up smash, but that takes even more time. So he can counter the recovery, but it does take a lot of time, and in that time Takeo might already be up to something. Speaking being up to something, he is going up with a stock, taking the first stock for BJ while he's sitting at 136%.
Another quick draw, and just as BJ has started to cover the high recoveries, he is going straight to the ledge. I don't know how he knows, but it's clear that he does. Great mix-up by Takeo, but now he's off stage once again. Can he escape yet another barrage of mortars? Nikitas for the lead trap. No, he can't. BJ taking the stock in return, and it is at about even. I think this is gonna be a basic 2-2 match in the crew battle.
Seems like BJ has some catching up to do, though, even though he is in the lead. Takeo seems to have the control over the match right now. For Snake, this advantage is quite infamous for being poor. With the grenades can help that, but if Takeo spaces his aerials correctly, he shouldn't be able to deal with the grenades. Ike has that big sword, so he should be perfectly fine to do that. Ooh, and BJ now at 90%. That's a near up air percentage, so he really needs to watch out what he's doing. Smart option there by Takeo, just waiting patiently for BJ to come back to the stage, hitting that forward tilt. And now BJ has to get out of the corner against a very peppy Ike who wants a grab. Ooh, but the grenade into up air is gonna get him out of there. Alright, BJ just trying to stay in the corner, just trying to pressure with the grenade, seeing if he can bait Takeo in a certain interaction, but he seems to be baited himself. Almost gets hit with the up air, but is just out of percentage. Now BJ has the edge guard situation here. Almost gets the KO with the down smash there, but he smartly rolls from the ledge.
Yeah, I'm liking the defensive play coming out here from BJ. In a normal bracket match, you might expect him to go in a bit more expressive, but of course this is a crew battle, so every single stock counts, and he is gonna take it easy. Dropping grenades near him, and he gets confirmed into the up air. Let's go, BJ, cleaning it up before losing that vital second stock.
And that's one thing BJ is known for, those good close quarter interactions you usually don't see with Snake. Like, if someone gets hit by the grenade, I doubt that someone else would go for that up air just to try and get the stock. A lot of players would try to just reset to neutral, maybe go for a back air, but not just go completely in and to get the stock. And that's what I love about BJ. But even so, even more so that Takeo won, or that the BJ won, Takeo still did a great job, got another stock for the German team, and it's going quite neck to neck with a small advantage to the Dutch.
Right, so that leaves Germany with a counter pick against the Snake. Let's see what they got. Of course, they have Quick, and he has beaten Salem. I know this is some ancient history for Ultimate standards, but he beat one of the better Snakes in the world when the game was in its early phase. But of course, despite that, I wouldn't per se consider Samus a great matchup for the Snake. It's fine enough. But I wouldn't consider it great. Of course, Lucky is still on the table, and whenever I'm not sure, I always prefer me some consistency. And Lucky is the personification of consistency, both in character, results, and playstyle. So I'm feeling lucky. I'm feeling lucky once again.
I can see that, yeah. It would definitely be a good choice, but I would also see, because this is most of the time the point where Quick comes out of the corner to play, and especially with Samus so projectile heavy, maybe he can stuff out BJ most of the time. Maybe he can just keep the pressure from a safe distance. Like characters like Ike have to engage, but BJ really doesn't, so he can just play his own game. But while playing against Quick, against Samus, you have to keep in mind that your opponent can just play the game by charging that charge shot and waiting for you to make a mistake. And then BJ needs to interact, and that might result in him getting punished more than he should. So I think Quick would be a good pick against this one. I also like the Lucky pick from you. Could be very fun as well, but Germany is gonna come out with the big hitters from now on.
Right, like you said, in most German matches for this event, they have pulled out their best players during the midsection, and well, that's right now.
Most of the time, like when they're down 2 players, it's mostly going to come down to Quick, Robin, GG, and then Dark Thunder. Mostly in that order. That's the complete anchor they've been going with for the rest of the tournament. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it again. It's just the order that matters now, and I think Quick is gonna bite off the start and get sent in first.
I'll find out shortly. Of course, like I said before, I really hope to save a spot for Snormanda. Love me some Bowser Jr. I don't know how often he has been picked for the other matches during this crew battle. I know I saw at least one clip of him on Twitter, I think, which is of course definitely just buried in clips from this event right now. At least if you have a European following and following a lot of the Europeans. We got some exciting matches today. Of course, yesterday was pretty cool as well. What I love about this event is that they have so many different countries that we normally either don't see a lot of in general or don't see interacting with each other to begin with, like Poland and Lithuania. I feel like they have some very fledgling scenes that are definitely on the come up, but do not really have a history yet of traveling out of country. So
Yeah.
seeing them clash with other European countries right here is really cool.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see what's going on. It's always a pleasure to see, like, especially since we haven't seen them compete against each other for this long due to all the circumstances. It's a refresher to see countries who usually face off pretty often go back at it again. Just a bit of a reminder of the good times.
I mean, hopefully it's not over forever, man. The good times are
No,
coming back.
okay.
I still believe.
The world is not gonna die after this tournament. It's not gonna get hit by some meteorite or something.
I would hope so. If this would be the last day on Earth, I'm sure as hell not spending it commentating Smash. I love this event. I love what they're doing. It's great and all, but if this was my last day on Earth, I don't know. I think I'd spend it with family or something.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that. All right. It's like, I don't know how far they would in the pro. Oh, okay, we're going to start right now. Okay, and it's going to be quick. My call
Why
was
are you
correctly.
always right, Dagobert?
I
Why are
am
you
not,
always
but
right?
3, 2, 1, go!
all right, I'm going to Smashville. Big platform, big stage for both players.
Oh yeah, Town and City is a favorite for Samus in Ultimate. It's pretty good for her in Smash 4 as well, but in Ultimate, honestly, it just might be her best stage. She just loves all that space to get away, charge that charge shot. You even have some platforms you can smooth around, especially if your name's Quick, which you don't have a final destination. So yeah, the Town and City pick, not a surprise at all. Let's find out what Quick can do with it. BJ is already on the run trying to fly away, but he still's got to get hit with that mid-charge shot, and that's the worst one to get hit by at low percent, because that can lead into a grab, which can lead into a combo. We saw it, it got cut short a little, because BJ does have his grenades planted everywhere, interrupting what otherwise would have been like a 60% combo.
This might be the most Wi-Fi game I've seen in a while. Both players just standing on the other side of the ledge, throwing projectiles. Right now they're going a bit more in each other's face, but definitely playing out that projectile game. BJ trying to keep the pressure onto Quick to prevent them from charging those projectiles, but Quick, of course, always finds those moments to get the charge shot in or to return the pressure to you. He seems to be doing very good, 180% on BJ.
Even using the grab armor to bust through the Nikita. BJ is having a very tough time getting knocked off stage by the bombs. Every time he's at the ledge, he just flies out of there. He doesn't want to deal with it, but eventually you're gonna have to land. And when you have to land, you have to deal with the charge shot. There it is again. 2 quick shots in a row. BJ needs to start watching where he's flying. These basic high recovers are not cutting it versus Quick.
No, against a lot of other characters and players, you can get away with those high recoveries. Snake being very flexible with his landing options, but Quick always being able to cover those is a big detriment to your recovery, because your recovery off stage is going to get hit by a lot of those aerials, especially the back air and that neutral air. So you have to watch out what you're doing. What you also have to watch out for is getting out of the corner, because BJ seems to be stuck in it for most of the majority of this match. Quick making an absolute showing of his capabilities.
Oh yeah, BJ is getting hit by every charge shot Quick is firing. And even when he's camping on a platform, Quick is busting out the homing missiles. He is not in a hurry at all. Usually that's not a move you see from Samus mains, but you know, when the Snake is trying to camp you, it's actually not that bad of an idea, you know, just to annoy him a little. Tell him to get down there from the platform, stop camping. But of course,
interact, please.
yeah, and then of course when he does, Quick's gonna run away and start camping himself with some charge, so that's what I love about this matchup. Oh, there is the up tilt for a second there. I thought the neutral air hit, but you know, you can never doubt Snake's up tilt. Surprisingly, though, he did not lose his stock for it. Mortar versus charge shot. Charge shot is gonna come out on top. And once again, using that helicopter to get away, but every single time on landing, he gets hit, and there was not a single stock taken from Quick, showing us why he is the second best in Europe. And we're playing on Wi-Fi and he's a Samus main, so he just might be the best in Europe, as long as we are not able to meet up offline.
Yeah. The thing is, what I find really interesting, not really interesting, is that like the Samus up throw is notoriously strong since the buff. And even on a stage with Town and City, with that high of a blast zone, it's still killed at relatively, I don't want to say relatively early, but like at a decent percentage.
It's that edge case, like 150, you won't want to say it's early, but on the other hand, it's a high ceiling and it's Snake. And you might, you know, that's more than acceptable. That's pretty decent, but you also have to take in consideration that Quick was at very high percent himself, and Sam's up throw is one of the kill throws that is most affected by rage, personal experience.
Yeah, so the up throw is going to send Snake flying away back to his base.
And I know you haven't heard the term rage in a long time, but there are actually a few moves in this game that are still pretty reliant on rage for kill power.
So, now comes the question. The Dutch do have a lot of Samus. Paint. Okay, I don't even need to finish my. I don't even need to finish my question. But all right. No, what I was about to say
is absolute hell for Samus.
I would believe so. Yeah, I would believe so. And I also think that Paint or even most of the Dutchies do have a lot of Samus experience. We have both Muk, Koyo, and you, so there's a lot of Samus to practice with. Maybe
Course,
that could
none of
result
them
in
quite on Quick's level, but still the matchup should be familiar, especially to Paint. Normally, I would also say anti-reflex would be a good pick. Rob has more than a decent matchup against Samus, and anti-reflex is a fantastic player. But of course, you can see on the German team, there's another Rob right there, Longo, and both he and Quick are veterans. They have been going back to Brawl, the both of them. So I cannot imagine that Quick would be caught off guard by the Rob matchup. He probably has the Rob matchup down to a T. Not so sure about the Duck Hunt. So I would actually like to see Pain come in here. It's gonna be very tough for Paint, but I think it's a choice to make for the
it's a
Dutch team right now.
it's a big mountain to climb, but luckily the Dutch team has their hiking shoes on, so it should be possible. Should be possible. We saw that Quick went to Town and City for their match, which would be a pretty great Samus stage. But if they're gonna pick Paint, I would presume we're going to either Pokemon Stadium or Kalos Pokemon League. They're both stages with very big platforms, just to give them a little bit of breathing room to play with. But I don't know what Quick has banned, and I would presume he's probably going to ban the smaller stage because he would like Battlefield as well. So maybe something like SmashCore and Final Destination, maybe those two.
Right. Of course, everybody knows that in this particular game, Samus benefits the most from wide stages. But if they do end up going with Paint, it's the same for Duck Hunt. And here we go. Let's find out who they picked. Oh, they picked Loading. Loading. That's not a bad choice at all. We, of course, have seen him do some crazy stuff this tournament. Let's find out if he can do it versus Quick.
All right, it seems we're going back to Town and City. The big stage is going to come back. And I know these two have played before, so they should be a bit familiar with each other. But we have seen Loading be absolutely on fire in some matches. He has the potential just to completely turn around a certain scenario. Quick right now is not letting him do that. Again, with those the pressure on the ledge, not letting people get out of there, and trying to play his own game most of the time.
Alright, still Loading is keeping it relatively even, and that is a pretty good result versus a player like Quick. However, we can see Quick now expanding his lead. He is hitting his charge shot again. At the start, he got interrupted by the Lemons, not so much for the last couple. And these trades are not looking good for Loading. Even landing on top of the super missiles, which is not a move you should get hit by. And there is the double jump read. Quick taking out Loading relatively early. He is not even close to kill percent himself.
Yeah, this is a very tough start for Loading here. Has to make up Quick at 68%. That's not enough to get killed by. Samus still being quite heavy despite her great mobility she usually has. And again, we see Quick already going strong with that second stock, getting a Dragon of Order into a Jablot and a backer. Quick is just going completely off right now.
Right, and he does have 2/3 of a charge shot. There it is, another big chunk of damage. Passes on the Crash Bomber, almost gets a combo from it too. And Loading is already back in kill percent after just doing roughly 40% against Quick. That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah.
Trading about 20% for about 100 of your own. It's not looking good for Loading. He read the roll on, but he was too late with the move. That's super unfortunate for him. And it's gonna be very demoralizing if Quick manages to take this stock before Loading gets one on Quick.
Yeah, the backer almost sealing the deal right there. Tries to reach the charge shot at the jump with the charge shot. Loading almost getting his own charge shot in as well, but not quite having the same effect. Both players are at a high percent, and Loading needs to watch out because the grab at this point is going to be a kill factor. Loading needs to stay in the air or just be careful where he positions himself.
That's right, we saw it versus a Snake. It could happen again versus a Mega Man. We can see Quick using a lot of tiny charge shots, dodging both a Mega Upper on Quick side and a Screw Attack on Loading side. A bit of spaghetti here, that's unfortunate for Loading. And what we probably feared on the Dutch side has come to pass. Quick has taken 2 of loading stocks before losing even one of his own.
Loading really needs to up the pressure now. Up smash not taking the stock as well. That up air is not going to do it as well. Quickly getting rid of that, dodging out of the way. Loading is kind of pressured. It seems like he is more aggressively selecting these options. Something we're not really used from Loading. There we go, catching the landing from that, dodging the metal blade with the forward smash. And that's going to seal the first stock for Quick. Of course, first stock is not the greatest result you want to have, but one stock is one stock anyway.
One stock is one stock. Loading almost getting a ladder, but failing the platform landing up here. That's unfortunate for him. He tried to go again with the drop through. Did not happen. Quick once again is all over him with small charge shots, screw attacks, aerials. My god, this guy is moving. You never know exactly where he is until you're already hit. Loading is having a really tough time here. Finally gets a nice juggle. Got an up air and a forward air. Wants to continue it, but Quick makes it back to the stage. And with a Gallop into instant dash attack, he busts his way through to neutral, gets a nice charge, and blasts Loading off stage. And that's the answer with another air dodge read. Quick, looking so strong. Is there anyone who can take him on?
Yeah, the difficult part of that was Mega Man lost his double jump, so Loading had to recover with the air dodge. And if there's one thing Samus can capitalize on, it's people not having the best tools to come back to the stage or get off the ledge. Quick, of course, spacing that neutral air perfectly and punishing Loading for that air dodge. It seems like Quick is quite unstoppable, tearing through 2 entire players from the Dutch team. And yeah, the Dutch team needs an answer to this, and they need it quickly.
Give me paint.
Yeah, not only that, but Quick is not the last Titan of the German team, so they really need to close this out if they want to win the third place.
Yeah, they do. And I just really think you need a character that can totally shut down the charge shot play. We've seen so many charge shots hit in neutral. A lot of 2/3 charges that did a lot of damage. A lot of half charges that led into combos. And I think Duck Hunt, his neutral, has some basic flowcharts that can get a health-based projectile on stage pretty much all the time. And it doesn't matter how powerful your shot is, if a projectile or item of the opponent has health, that means it will never pass through. It will just hit the can, the clay pigeon, the wild gunman, and it will register as a hit on that particular thing. And okay, so you took out the wild gunman, congratulations, and it doesn't help you at all and your charge is gone. That's why Duck Hunt can be such a struggle for Samus in neutral. And I think it could put a stop to the way Quick has just been blasting with that neutral B.
The thing is also with the gunman, like if he gets hits once, it's not in the gunman anymore, it's a bouncer. Because he stays longer on the battlefield, blocking almost any projectile in the game. So if Quick tries to get rid of him with the super missile, he's just going to stay there longer, charging blocking the charge shot even longer, which would allow Paint to set up his projectiles even more. So Paint has just a command wall he can pull up. He's basically an earthbender at that point. He can just pull up a wall, protect himself for almost any projectile, and play his own game. So that's where I think the strong point would lie. And of course, we haven't seen that much of Pain in the crew battle. So again, as I said at the beginning of the set, a lot of fresh blood would be nice. Some people we haven't seen yet, and oh boy, I do want.
Yeah, of course. If they do go for Paint, he has to watch out because Duncan does not have the best disadvantage state. Does not have the best recovery. Fine, but it's also vulnerable. So if they go with Pain, that's the place that Samus has to, get the thing she's gonna get in the matchup. Otherwise, she's not gonna get it at all. And I look at these other players. Super Sammy could be an option. Also has a lot of Samus experience, just through the fact that he always makes it really far in bracket. And like you said, we have had, even if they don't main Samus anymore, like Koyu and Muck. We've had some great Samus players that have faced off for Super Sammy. He knows he needs to up his bomb use when playing versus a Samus for the same reason that Duck Hunt would be a decent choice. Charge shots can pass through fire arrows and boomerangs, but not through bombs, because bombs have health, so they just destroy the bomb instead of outright beating it.
Yeah.
And other than that, there isn't really a very Samus-specific counterpick left on the Dutch team.
I think if you look at just look away from the counter picks and look more at the play styles, something that Samus really struggles with, I would presume, is pressure from a long distance. Like, imagine you want to charge shot at the end of the stage. You just want to play your game and see what other people are going to do. And there's this one stupid kid with a bow who's just constantly shooting arrows at you from across the stage. That doesn't give you a lot of time to get that charge shot up. It does not give you a lot of time to add the pressure of your game plan that you really need, because you want that charge shot to be charged in order to correctly punish the players for making a mistake. And if you're not getting the time to do that, that's a different story.
It's definitely kind of annoying, but if Young Link takes too much space, you know, you're gonna bug him by making him put up a shield again and again. But in the end, you will still get some charge, and it looks like they opted for Paint. This is what they should have done from the start. Let's see how it goes. Quick, does he even have to drop a stock? I can't remember. I don't.
Yeah, he does. He got hit by loading forwards.
Right, now I remember. And let's see if I made the right call all along. Let's see if Paint can outperform his fallen brother with the Duck Hunt here as they play on Pokemon Stadium 2. I think this is a decent choice for Paint in terms of stage, but I don't think it's a decent choice to pick against Quick, just because he has such insane platform movement, and Pokemon Stadium 2 provides ample opportunity with those low center left and center right platforms.
Yeah, we already see Paint is completely applying the pressure, dictating the pace of the game most of the time. That's a double clay pigeon and an upper, and already 106% on Quick. And the gunman actually walking the charge at that point. That's going to be the first stock for Quick. Paint absolutely massacring Quick's first stock right there and being barely touched with that.
He only took 10%. Maybe I should have been the coach. Then we still would have had loading versus another player, because we know loading can absolutely destroy people. But didn't happen versus Quick, and now it looks like Paint is actually performing quite well. Slowly but surely, Quick is learning the tricks of this sly dog, and at the ledge is, like I said before, where Samus has to get her stuff in this matchup, because neutral is so tough, and looks like Quick did exactly that, building Paint up all the way to 102, but he did not get the stock, and that means you return to neutral, and that means you have to suffer versus this barrage of canned clay pigeons and wild gunmen.
Yeah, and as you say, already 102% on Paint. May I remind you that Paint is almost lapping Quick in percentages, Quick now being in the 130%. So if Paint can close this out with a free stock, that would be amazing. That would be reset to equal the stocks for both teams.
Right, and there it is. Quick tried to shoot him in the way he hit loading many times before. Paint was just doing his flowchart, and that charge shot seemed to hit, but it was blocked by just one of the many projectiles that was coming out. So tough, so tough. But now he has a problem. Air dodges diagonally downwards and knocks him into the can, and he barely lives. Can Paint actually take 2 stocks without losing even one of his own?
Yeah, yes, it's going to be the down throw up there. The eyes in on the down throw, and Paint returning the playing field to equal ground, taking 2 stocks off Quick while losing none of his own, and being at 132% against Samus is very scary, but Paint manages to get in the 2 stock, and it's 6-6 for both teams.
Great result for Paint. Like you said, it's 6 versus 6. It is perfectly even, except of course Germany has the counterpick advantage.
Yeah, currently they have the counterpick advantage both in terms of stage and character. So they really need to figure out what they are going to do. I think there's still a lot of characters left, or a lot of players left in the team, which can do greatly if they get the chance. We still have Robin GG, we still have Light, we still have Dark Thunder. So
Longo is the choice I would make, especially because he, as a raw player, is one of the only players on the German team that has the tools to easily get around Duck Hunt's barrage of projectiles, because the Rob laser is fully transcendent, and that means it will not disappear on contact with anything whatsoever, even if it's an item with health, and that is just such a valuable tool when playing versus Duck Hunt.
Let's see who they are going to send out. Don't forget, if Paint gets eliminated from this crew battle, they only have one player left, and they need to make the most out of that one player. And there are still a lot of big names left in the Dutch team. So the big boss of both teams has not come out yet. Maybe from the German team, the Quick has come out, but we have seen that Dark Thunder has been the major carry for most of this crew battle, taking a lot of stocks, winning a lot of sets for him and his team, and ending a lot of unfortunate looking situation. So
Right,
I
on the
think
other hand, they still have Longo and Roman GG, some of the most highly ranked German players. I think it is a pretty safe bet that Super Semi will be the anchor for the Netherlands.
I'm fairly certain, yeah.
So they might want to take that into account when choosing their counterpicker right now. Just so they have the player they would like to face up versus Super Semi still have full stocks.
Yeah.
You know, I think they have to counter anchor pick. So even if Dark Thunder is usually the anchor, if they don't want to put him against Super Semi, now is the time to bring it out.
The thing is, of all the players left, I believe Robin GG has the best record against Super Semi. I don't think Super Semi has managed to win a set against him. So maybe they're saving him for the time comes, when that time comes when he has to play against Super Semi. So maybe that's going to be a thing. Maybe they're going to throw out Dark Thunder early, because Bowser against a character like Duck Hunt could work very well. He can armor through the frisbee when he is on the ground. So we saw that Paint really likes those options and the follow-ups he can get from that.
Right,
So maybe
he's gonna have to take some risks to get some early percents to make sure all his walling works as intended. That's always a little tricky versus Bowser.
Yeah, so I think we need to patiently wait what they're going to do. Of course, you said the anchor for the Dutch team is almost certainly going to be Super Semi. We saw him do great in the other crew battles, getting a lot of stocks done, getting a lot of pressure done, and maybe he's going to do it again for this crew battle. Is currently 6-6 against German and the Dutch team, so we're at equal playing field, with Germany currently having the counter pick advantage.
But apart from who's optimal, who would you like to see?
Are we returning to this question again?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I want a solid answer. Okay, well, it's like I'm getting my wish because it's Bowser Jr. and that is who I have been banging on about since we started the stream. Because this is a guy who I would have wanted to see. Let's find out if it's a decent choice versus Duck Hunt, though.
Yeah, he can completely rush through the zone that Paint is going to try and set up. So maybe that's why they picked him. He is going to Town and City, which we saw earlier is a very good stage for Snowmanda. Gives him a lot of room to just camp with the projectiles from the upper platforms. So maybe that might have not been the best choice. We already see that Snowmanda is being relatively untouched for now. Paint already at 44%, and seems to be Snowmanda seems to be controlling most of the match.
Right, it's a good start for the German. Paint does have some young EV experience, so he shouldn't be completely blindsided by Stormanda's tricks. But even then, oh wow!
Oh.
I think he actually had some explosion way up in the air. Not enough to send him off the top though, thanks to Town and City's new high ceiling. This is a moment where Paint should try to turn it around, because he is going to be on the back foot for the entire match. He needs some momentum. It looks like he's getting just that right now, but a shield is going to get him grabbed, and now he's back off stage, and Junior has some pretty great ledge steps, not to mention great moves to snipe 2 frames. Fortunately for Paint, he actually fell out the up smash. Forward smash, excuse me. Double drills. Slowly but surely, Stormando is entering kill percent. Oh, combos into another can, finds himself at the ledge. How can he get past the ledge versus Duck Hunt?
Ooh, Paint almost getting the back air there, and that's a greedy up smash, but that's not gonna get punished by Stormando, who's gonna fall for the same trick Paint pulled on Quick. The down throw into the up air being a very good kill confirm if you DI in. And now Stormana being a stock down is already a pretty good job for Paint right there, but he has to watch out. That's a jab at the ledge, and that's be it. 2 stocks for each player, and again, we return to a fairly equal game.
We are, but there's a grab. Paint is building his lead 50%, not bad. Could have been a little more if the can had sent Stormana the other way. Either way, this is actually looking pretty good compared to what we saw at the start for Paint. So,
Yeah,
he's comboing the clay pigeon into the can. Unfortunately for him, a little bit too late on the aerial follow-up, but still, look at that damage. Speaking of damage, here comes Stormanda with the juggles Bowser Jr. is so known for.
Yeah, you said like it was looking a lot worse for Paint in the first stock. He has really caught up to himself. Now Stormana seems to be going on the aggressive, not really trying to deal with those projectiles anymore. He's been throwing a lot of jump in Mecha Koopas, just trying to get a certain option out of Paint. We saw one big confirm there, that's a spin, a clown rollout. It's not going to be enough for the stock, but it is some nice damage. Paint with a small advantage here. Stormana just keeps on pressing through the zone Paint is trying to create.
Yeah, he's not getting bamboozled by these Mecha Koopas or these cannonballs. He is sending Stormana back to the ledge. Opportunity is getting cut short by the Mecha Koopa. No ledge traps for you. That's unfortunate because that's definitely a place where Duncan gets a lot of his stocks. And we are definitely in the phase where both players are starting to look for ways to take that stock. Oh, is that a trade? Yes, but no follow-up. I think he just hit himself with his own can. There are explosions everywhere. It is hard to keep track of. Mecha Koopas, cans, everything's hitting right now. Another Mecha Koopa hit, but he flies too far for the follow-up. Paint narrowly avoiding 2 up airs that would definitely have taken the stock. Wild Gun Man! Not quite strong enough. It's a higher caliber.
Okay, Paint at the ledge of the stages. No jab. This time tries to get the down tilt, and the back throw is almost going to do it. I don't think I've ever seen a duck hunt throw kill, so I wouldn't be. It would be very surprising if that's going to happen today. Stormana sitting at 192% though. That's going to be the can is definitely going to be the stock, but no, Stormana takes the upper hand, gets the back air there, and Stormana now at a very high percentage, almost certain to lose his second stock there, but still, getting the first stock first against Paint is a very good precedent to set, because it means you have a lot more playing ground to play on.
That's exactly right. It's very unfortunate for Paint that that throw did not kill, but of course, could you imagine Duck Hunt having a kill throw in his kit alongside all this damage-wrecking potential? That's definitely a character I would not want to face, but of course, if you have all that damage on it, you still need to find yourself a kill move, and he finally does it with a can at like 210%. Oh, we got juggles from Stormanda. Gets a nice 42. He gets a nice 68. And now Paint has to fight his way back on stage, and he does it, jumps over him, tries to reset neutral, but instantly Stormanda chases him back off the other side. Oh, here comes the clay pitch in the close range. It should be big damage with an up smash follow-up. Stormanda taking it easy.
He has all the time in the world to make it easy. 93% on Paint. And so watch out. He keeps doing those scary neutral get-ups against Stormanda. We saw that the first stock, the jab, is going to be a very good punisher. That's a Paint needs to watch out. Almost gets hit by the Clown Gun explosion into the up B hammer. Not gonna be doing again with the neutral get-up. Oh my god, Paint, stop doing those. Stormanda was ready to take you on for that, but he missed the setup there. Watch out for those.
Fantastic wall gun and combo, yeah, he really needs to avoid the ledge trap situations, and he gets the confirm from the claim pitch, and Paint clutching it out after Stormanda got the killing hit with the jab, but aborted it. Ooh, okay, the Netherlands getting away with murder, and Paint taking the lead for the country. So that leaves us with just 1 German remaining. Now you thought the anchor was usually Dark Thunder, but on the other hand, the big hitter, Robin GG, hasn't seen play yet during this particular crew battle. So what do you think, Dark Thunder, Robin GG? If you had to make a bet, if you had to put down your own money.
I would still say Dark Thunder. I would definitely still say Dark Thunder.
It is
Um,
it is the clutch casino pick.
Yeah, not only that, but he's been fulfilling the role he needs. Like, we've seen him anchor so much. I think he's very comfortable in that role, just getting into people and actually making use of the pressure that being an anchor sets on you. Like, for example, if you're the best player, if you're the last player of your the crew battle team, and you're up against Bowser with 3 stocks of all people, like, you would be scared. You're
Right,
very scared.
Paint only has 1 stock coming in, so there will be no time to see what's going on, no time to adapt. We'll have to start gambling straight from the word go. And that's an advantage, of course, for a character with more limited options that has to gamble more by nature. Less time for your opponent to see what you want to do to read you. It's gonna help you maybe get some nice early stocks with some surprise moves.
It
And
could be.
I would like to remind you that the one time they did not have Dark Thunder as the anchor versus the UK, they actually lost. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So it's almost a certainty. And the thing is, like, you want to make the most use out of the 3 stocks. Peach being very light, of course, is not be able to make the most out of those.
no.
But a heavy character like Bowser, like, he can easily survive with 500% in total of those 3 stocks.
That's true, although on paper with 2 projectile characters, Super Semi and Duck Hunt, he wouldn't do too wide, but of course they still had Light! I almost forgot about him because he usually enters so early, but there he is!
It's like the one who begins it all is now going to close it out for the German team. It's going to be Light on Smashville against Paint's final stock and potentially the final player from the Netherlands.
1 stock remaining for Paint, and here we go. There's the instant auto radical for the 8%, Wild Gunman, Scans, Clay Pigeons, everything is coming out right at the start.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know from Paint that he absolutely hates this matchup. It also seems like a very difficult matchup to me, but he absolutely hates it because it seems so unfun to him. And Paint can get very emotional during his play, so maybe the Germans have picked up on that, maybe noticed it or heard it from somewhere, and trying to just stress him out with this pick. Of course, Light being a very amazing player in his own right is also a great way to end it on.
Right,
But
very
Palutena
versatile too.
Yeah.
So there's a Clay Pigeon, he's trying to get some confirms, but Light is staying patient and only using attack when he knows he has an opening. 2 great dash attack to bust through those projectiles, that invincibility coming through. Good stuff from Light, but now we are seeing some moves from Paint. He has actually taken the percent lead and he wants to continue that.
Yeah, both players around 70% on the counter. Means it's fairly equal, but we have seen some great roll reads from Light in this set. A lot of forward smashes. Those Palutena wings are very strong, so maybe he's going to try to clutch something out, but he is in a very unfortunate position right now. The can almost hitting him there all the way to the bottom. Not going to get anything out of that. Paint now needs to watch out with his landing. One Palutena upper is going to do it. No, he gets hit by the can on the way up.
Yeah, smart stuff by Paint. You know Light was looking for that up air, such a powerful move, so he decided to land right on top of his own can, just so it would prevent Light from jumping up. Can to recovery, smart stuff. We are in a last hit situation. He avoids 2 explosive flames, dash attacks, not gonna be enough. Ducker not quite a powerhouse in terms of knockback. He needs an up air or a smash attack.
What I really like from Paint is the patience he has with those explosive flames. Light has been throwing a lot of explosive flames, but I haven't seen Paint get hit by any of them. So that's very impressive. And now comes the big problem from Ducker that is going to kill it. But no, Light actually losing his first stock. Paint making sure that the Dutch team has a head start when it comes to the next player.
Oh, look at this combo, look at this advantage state. He lettered him as Duck Hunt.
That's not something you see every day, but it seems like Paint is already working on a second stock, making sure that the Dutch team has an insane advantage when it comes into the last player. Light now really needs to watch out, is looking for the kill, but he really can't seem to find it.
This dude has to be so frustrated. I bet he's fuming, but the only fume that matters right now is those coming off that explosive flame, Light preventing what would definitely have been a catastrophic second stock taken by Paint. And we're gonna go into the final match with 2 stocks from Germany and 3 from the Netherlands. And I think Super Semi is gonna be a pretty safe bet.
Oof, oof, oof. Very close. It's gonna be a nail-biter again. The Dutch team still has 3 stocks left. Light is gonna be the last player and has 2 stocks left. But he's gonna get counter-picked. The Dutch team still has to pick their stage and their character. And of course, they have a Palutena in their own team, so there should be a lot of experience coming out. We already saw that Paint, someone who hates the matchup, did decently well against Light's Palutena, and they still have the Super Sem left. They still have the I think they still have Azriel left as well. So they have 2 very strong players with noticeable Palutena experience in the pocket.
That's exactly right. But you know, Ezreal would not be my pick for anchor. And I think Super Semi is generally higher on the PR, and his character meshes better with Wi-Fi. So I think it's a safe bet. So that means an actual egg is not coming out today, or this particular crew battle. But he's more than proven his worth. So I guess that's all right.
All right, all right. Just like the Dutch still deciding. Yeah, we said it's certainly going to be Super Semi, and the pressure is probably going to probably be what sets Light up for defeat, or Light can just completely take it. He did survive against Paint for quite a long time, and maybe if he can survive longer on a bigger stage, maybe like a Town and City or a Kalos, he might be able to clutch it out just by tanking the stocks he has left against Super Semi. But of course, Super Semi being known for those extremely explosive combos, and there is going to be Final Destination, surprisingly enough. And the last match of this crew battle, it's going to be Super Semi from the Dutch team with 3 stocks against Light from the German team with 2 stocks left.
Super Semi already starting off with the projectiles. No confirms yet. The spin gets blocked and Light doesn't even try to punish. There's so little end lag on it, I can't even blame him.
No, you would rather make a safe decision to run away and let it be instead of greedily punishing it. But especially with the advantage state Super Semi has, that's a very risky thing to do. Just see that, like, one dash attack, which is pretty safe in its own right, got punished for 50% already. So that's like the thing you have to watch out for against Super Semi. He is in the advantage now. Light is doing a good job of getting in constantly. That might be a hard factor for some players with the amount of projectiles and great projectiles to Young Link can throw. But Light is doing a great job at getting in against Super Semi.
And that he is. However, Light needs to do a whole lot more than just going 1-for-1, considering he started off with only 2 stocks. So going even is actually being way behind schedule for Light right now. Oh,
yeah.
Super Semi getting some confirms, missing the down tilt. That's good because sometimes that sets up for a kill, getting a jab instead. But you know, that's good damage and it keeps him at the light. So I doubt Super Semi's complaining.
Ooh, misses T4 there, but gets the dash attack in the other direction. We're switching corners now for Light, who successfully gets out of it with the dash attack. Tries to get the jump read from Super Semi with the up air, but not getting anything out of it. And there goes the jab too. Notoriously safe, only -7 on shield. Gives Super Semi another mix-up to play with there.
There's the 4th throw, not quite enough from center, but if he manages to grab Light at the edge, that should be it. However, it's gonna be a sweet spot there from the top of all places. I suppose if he had the diagonally down, he might have lived, but you know, we can only speculate. Either way, Germany on their final stock of the 3rd place playoffs. It's looking really rough for our eastern neighbors.
It's looking really rough, but Light can be able to work with something. He has clutched out situations in the past, I'm pretty sure of it. So maybe Super Semi can slip up once or twice and Light can make the most advantage out of that. 144% is pretty dangerous. That deep nair is going to send Super Semi into the blast zone. Super Semi now only left with 2 stocks. Light only at 41%. So that isn't the end of the world, but Super Semi making sure that the counter keeps.
Alright, and that's well played by Light right there. Like you said, he needs those edge guards if he wants to make the comeback. So far, Super Semi is not letting him. Look at that, 78%, 83, 97, and he's not done. Putting him in the corner, confirming a fire into a neutral air. Light has no place to go as he finally rolls back on stage, getting a few hits on Super Saiyan. But like I said, he needs some crazy edge guards and some crazy juggles if he wants to make a comeback. He's already in kill percent and Semi still has 2 stocks to go. 70%. Getting front, but does not get the back air. Both punished too late. Okay, edge guard time. He needs it. He needs the edge guard. Doesn't go for it.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet. Nair would not kill at this point, and anything else would probably get clipped by the up B from Super Semi, so that's a big risk. But the fire arrow in the up E up air is gonna do it, and that means that the Netherlands has secured their place as the third place in the European Invitational crew battle. And Germany sadly losing at just the last two stocks has to do with fourth place, but still they did a fantastic job bringing it this close. But the Dutch team showed that they are the better team of this match.
Right, so that's Germany getting upset twice today. It has certainly been an eventful day too for the European SmashCore Invitational. But we won't stall any longer because we still have the finals to get into, which is going to be a European history classic. France versus England. You won't want to miss it.
Yeah, UK coming off a very big upset against the German team is fresh in the grand finals, waiting for the opportunity to play against the French team, who played amazingly against the Dutch team. So we're probably going to switch to that very soon. This is going to be it for us. The Dutch takes the Dutch team takes the third place, and Germany ends up being fourth. And we hope to see you soon with the finals, and that's going to be commentated by none other than Fauster and Itano Circus. So there are two great people to watch out for.
From the competing nations.
That's an extra bit of sauce there, that extra bit of spice to make the commentary interesting. Very enjoyable. So please make sure to stay tuned for that. My name is Dagobert. I've been here with Gijsbeer. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate with you as always. And we hope to see you again for the grand finals of UK versus France.